Hey guys, this is definitely different. It's definitely been a while since you've seen my face, heard my voice, so I hope this video finds you healthy, staying sane during quarantine, if you even know what day it is anymore. But I just wanted to hop on here and kind of give you guys some explanation of what remote learning is going to be like for the foreseeable future, however long that may be. So my plan for this video is to provide you guys with an overview of what remote learning is, specifically looking at our first week of remote learning. And I also hope that then this could be a resource for you to look back on if you get confused throughout the week about expectations about what we're going to do. So the very first thing that I'm going to walk through you guys with is the overview of week one, showing you day by day how I've broken things down for you. And then I'm going to move us over to Google Classroom so you can see what that will look like each week as well. So I want to point out something that, we are still learning as teachers, guys, in terms of remote learning, what this looks like. This has never been done before. So my biggest thing is just be flexible with myself and your other teachers. Your plans might look different from teacher to teacher. Like this overview is probably not going to be what you see from every other teacher that you have, but just be flexible with us during this time. We are learning too. Okay. So biggest thing to note here, if you're taking a look at the screen, is that you will receive an email along with your guardians, whoever's at home, with this document in it. And this document is a complete overview of what you are expected to do for that week. And this email will be sent to you by Monday morning at 9 a.m. each week. Okay. You have the entire week to complete all of the activities that are on this document. All of the activities are going to be due each week the following Sunday at 11:59 p.m. So for example, week one starts March 30th. You have until April 5th at 11:59 to complete all of these activities. Now, that being said, you can work on these at your own pace. What I recommend is going day by day. I recommend doing the activities that I have on Monday, etc., etc. Just because you don't want to get to Sunday night at like 8 o'clock and realize you still have all 5 activities to do. That would just lead to unnecessary stress. So try to pace yourselves, guys, and follow the schedule that I've given. Okay, all of these activities, as you will see when we go to Google Classroom, will also be uploaded there, and that is where you will complete your work online digitally and turn it in for credit. Okay, now I want to address something before we start moving into like day by day. So every day I'm going to have office hours. All of your teachers are required to have those from 9 to 11. And then 1 to 2, okay? And I will be available through a couple different ways or methods. You can email me. I'll be on my email, or you can join a Google Meet, kind of similar to this. It would be like a video chat, essentially. And I will be providing you guys with a link for that as we move through this process. Okay, the only thing I have to give a disclaimer, I am not allowed to meet with students one-on-one through video chats like this. So what you will see is if you choose to use that Google Meet option, I will actually be conducting my office hours digitally, like virtually like that, with Mrs. Pavley. Some of you may know her. So don't be surprised if when you log on that you see another face. That is just for liability purposes for the district and just to kind of keep us teachers safe. So just an FYI. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about the week. So the very first thing, as you see here on Monday, you'll see that your first task is an introduction to remote learning, and you will watch the video that you are currently watching. Very good. And then there is a check-in form that I'm going to have us do each week. And I think it's really important during a time like this for me to not only check in with you academically and see how you're doing, but also personally, right? This is a very interesting time, so to speak, and I think it's important to have some outlet where you're communicating, just what's happening, some bright spots during your day, or if you have any concerns. So that will happen each week as well. And then your second task for day 1 on Monday is to begin what I'm calling government bingo. And that is to complete one activity out of the options that you have on the choice board. And I'll show you guys what that choice board looks like when we head over to Google Classroom. Okay, but you guys know the rules of bingo. You're supposed to get however many in a row or diagonally. That's how we're doing this here. So your job is to complete one of those review activities from that choice board. Okay. Day 2 then on Tuesday is to complete a second activity from that choice board, right? Moving our way up to bingo. And as you will notice, these bingo activities are geared toward reviewing units 1 and 2 because let's be real, you haven't talked about government or thought about my content since before spring break. So I want to have us review some of that key information before we move into the rest of the course. Okay, and then Wednesday is to complete bingo. So this will be part 3. You'll complete your third and final activity on your choice board so that you should now have bingo. So you should go horizontally, vertically, you have to think about it, and or diagonally, okay, however you want to do it. Okay. Thursday, we're going to move beyond review and we're going to do some application stuff on Thursday and Friday. So all of these institutions that we're talking about in class, all of these concepts and terms are really being put into light during this pandemic. So we are going to be completing an activity that's kind of a review still, but some application of our government, but it's Coronavirus 19 edition. So your task is to complete the first section on that Thursday. And then on that Friday, the 3rd, you're going to complete section 2, which is that's the entire section, and then you'll turn it in. Okay. Now, if you are interested, you will notice that we will have a government-specific help session or drop-in session where you can ask questions, see a friendly face. On Friday from 9 to 10, the government teachers and I got together and decided that we wanted to have a place for you guys to drop in if you had any government-specific questions. It will be from my understanding, I believe Mr. Faust and Mr. Juan Snyder will be there to be able to just drop in and say, hey, or answer any questions that you guys have about current events or the assignments that you guys have to do. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, whoops, sorry, my screen fell asleep. I'm going to switch us over to Google Classroom, and you will notice that when you go to classwork, I have added a topic for remote learning week 1. And this is what it will roughly look like when you head to Google Classroom each week. So the very first thing you'll notice is that the remote learning overview that we just looked at, this guy, is the very first thing posted. I've got this here so that way you can reference it throughout the entire week. Okay. Whoops, did not mean to click on that, guys. Then you will notice that each day is broken down with the assignments that are associated with that particular day, right, based on how they were on the overview. So Monday, you'll see that I've got the watch the introduction video, which again, you're watching. There's the check-in form that looks like this. Okay, make sure you complete all of it. There are a couple of pages, but it is very, very brief. And then here is the Gov Bingo activity that you are responsible for completing for the first 3 days. So all of the activity directions are here on this slideshow, but we're going to review those key unit concepts by completing the bingo board. So you will notice that you have a possibility of 9 activities. You have to pick 3 of them, okay? So what it looks like on here is you've got slide numbers with corresponding activities. So let's say, for example, I want to go diagonal here, okay? I would be responsible for completing slide number 2, which is here. And I would complete that activity and then move on. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. It should be pretty straightforward once you get kind of like the system down. So then next, let's say I wanted to do diagonally again. This says slide 6, where I'm applying the necessary and proper clause of the Constitution. So I would scroll down to slide 6, where I would find the appropriate activity. Okay, so here's the other piece of this. We are going to have you play actual bingo. So make sure when you do complete an activity that you actually move your stars. So that way when I take a look at your bingo board, I can see what exact activities that you completed, okay? So I'll get my stars back there. But that is your expectation for the first 3 real days of this remote learning. So Tuesday, you'll see when I return back to Google Classroom, complete another activity on the bingo board. So you should have 2 total activities completed, and you'll just return to Monday's assignment to access that bingo activity again. Okay, and then Wednesday, it says please complete 1 activity from the bingo choice board. You should now have all 3 activities completed, and they should be in a row for bingo. So remember to move your stars. The other thing I'm asking you guys is to please delete the slides activities that you did not complete before you turn it in. So when you turn it in, you should have that title slide with your stars and only the 3 activities that you completed. Okay, and again, you'll return to Monday's assignment to not only complete the activities, but then turn in when you are finished. Okay, Thursday, you'll see, as I mentioned on the overview, that we're starting that COVID-19 government review. So on Thursday, I'll open up the assignment. What you guys are going to be doing is applying terms and concepts. So first thing is you are going to choose 3 of the following terms or concepts, and you can choose from this list of things. Okay, you're going to find for each of those terms or concepts a current event about the pandemic, news clips, press conferences, articles, cartoons, anything that relates to those terms or concepts, and apply your understanding of that term or concept to that current event. Okay, and basically you'll give me an explanation how they apply to one another, how they're related. It could be your interpretation, your opinion of that particular event, but I'm just getting us thinking about how is the executive branch, the legislative branch, judicial branch handled this particular crisis? Where do we see limited government, checks and balances, or federalism? And I've even provided an example for you guys here, and you will see that then below you'll complete your 3 terms here. Okay. So then Friday, your task is to complete section 2 of this activity. And for section 2, you guys are going to complete option number 1 or option number 2. So they are both articles that deal with the pandemic and whether or not our liberties and rights are being infringed on by this pandemic, which is kind of weird to think about. So we've got these stay-at-home orders, these gathering restrictions, like you can't be in an area with more than 10 people, stay 6 feet apart. Is that violating our constitutional rights of American citizens? So you'll choose only one of these articles, and then you will answer these questions, okay? And that is all for Friday. As you will see on Friday, I've also attached that government-specific drop-in question and answer session, Google Hangout or Google Meet link on here as well, so you can access that if you need it. Okay, so I think that covers everything. One more thing before I let you guys go, and I didn't mention it and I should have before. When you are typing on these documents, if you could do me a favor, if you could type in a color other than black, and I have it mentioned on here, but that just makes my life a little bit easier when I'm going through and grading all of these things, so that way I don't go cross-eyed. So you don't have to type in red, but just some color other than black would be absolutely wonderful. So that concludes the overview video. I hope you guys, like I said, are staying healthy, and if you have any questions, please reach out through email. I look forward to seeing you guys in some of those Google Meets, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.